10 months ago, we made a video talking about hockey's most violent prospects. How the Montreal Canadiens took Owen Protz and plopped him into the Laval Rocket system. Well, today we have ourselves a signing. The Montreal Canadiens have agreed to terms to an ELC for 3 years, starting in 2026-2027 to 2028-2029, with defenseman Owen Protz. Ladies and gentlemen, the Montreal Canadiens have just signed the most violent prospect in hockey. Now, to let us know what's going on here, let's go over to the profile. I wanted to read you some excerpts from the Elite Prospects Draft Scouting Guide. And we also have an article on ProHockeyRumours.com that goes over the nitty-gritty details. So let's dive into it here. Owen Protz, 20 years old, 6'2", 207, a left-handed guy. He is listed on Elite Prospects as a heavy hitter, a physical defenseman, and a two-way defenseman. Yeah, you gotta be a heavy hitter for Elite Prospects to label you as a heavy hitter. He was a Habs draft pick back in 2024, 4th round, 102nd overall. And back when he was drafted, you can see he only had 19 points in 66 games played in the OHL. Really not great. Like, the point production is not the reason why you are drafting Protz and signing Protz. And furthermore, if you take a look at it, the guy's 20 years old right now. He had just wrapped up another season in the OHL. He didn't actually play a game with the Laval Rocket. He just kind of was there a little bit. He had 23 points in 64 games played this most recent season as an overage defenseman in the OHL. Not particularly fantastic production. Let's go out there and read the scouting report, however. When Protz steps onto the ice, he holds a monopoly on violence. Smart violence. He steadily angles attackers to the outside, lining them up for bone-crushing hits. He eliminates the attacker's options on the cycle, then slams them to the ice. He'll shut down rushes, move the puck, and activate in the offensive zone. Now, that's a pretty badass scouting report, I'm not gonna lie. And if you head over to the Elite Prospects Draft Guide, the elevator pitch for Protz, as written back in 2024, says that he is the most violent player on the ice, and he'll shut down rushes, move the puck, plus activate in the offensive zone. Protz is a violent player. He blends the old school and the new school with the puck. When he's really pressing forward, he's creating advantages with cross-ice passes and even deceiving a bit. From the point, he activates, uses space before shooting, and connects with high-difficulty shot passes. There's a lot to like out of Owen Protz's game, and the Canadiens are signing this guy to an ELC that'll take him until 2029. Let's go out there and look at this article by Josh Erickson on ProHockeyRumours.com. It dives into the nitty-gritty details as to the Canadiens and Protz agreeing on an ELC. 3-year entry-level contract, it'll kick in next season. Puckpedia is reporting that it carries a $1.004 million cap hit with the following breakdown. Yeah, that's the thing, man. These cap hits are becoming a little bit higher as the cap goes up. Not surprising, but still. In 2026-2027, Protz is going to have $850K of an NHL salary, $102K of a signing bonus, and potential performance bonuses of $68K. His minor salary throughout the course of the entire ELC is $85,000, which is actually pretty good. So, hey, if the guy's just sticking around in the AHL for the entire time, he will make $85,000 a year in minor salary, plus the bonuses. So, that's a pretty reasonable dollar amount for a guy to go out there and play hockey professionally. Is it not? 27-28, he's getting $900K as NHL salary, and then 2028-2029, he's getting $950K in NHL salary. This is, of course, assuming he actually plays in the NHL, if he has a day or two or a week in the National Hockey League. Protz was a 4th-round pick back in 2024, from the OHL's Brantford Bulldogs, where he has remained ever since to wrap up his junior career. On a Montreal D-core dominated by offensive-minded threats like Dobson and Hudson, Protz hopes to develop into a depth piece who can serve as a much more physically involved complement. The 6'2", 207-pound lefty does have some two-way juice in his game that should help him avoid becoming a complete offensive liability if he reaches the top level. But he is a brutal, intelligent checker first and foremost, who is quite skilled at keeping play to the perimeter. His lack of dynamicity means he doesn't stick out too much in the Habs' still deep pool, but it's worth noting they only have two non-roster left shot options signed through next season, Adam Engstrom and Luke Mittelstadt. Protz should be able to jump into a bottom-pairing role in the AHL's Laval Rocket system, get some reps on the PK, and begin to work his way up the depth chart. He has until 2029 before the Habs must make their first decision on whether to tend him a qualifying offer and keep him around. The Ottawa native wraps up his time in the OHL with 74 points in 198 games and 190 penalty minutes at a +60. That includes 23 points and a career-best +45 mark in 60 games for the Bulldogs this year. So at the end of the day, there is a lot to like out of Owen Protz from the Brantford Bulldogs and the OHL. He's a violent player, physical player. He's really good at keeping play to the outside and making sure that opponents just don't get that inside angle towards the net. Protz will certainly bring some physicality to the Laval Rocket and potentially the Montreal Canadiens as well. I'm kind of thinking about it like this. If you have a team that's got Florian Xhekaj, Arber Xhekaj, and Owen Protz on it all at the same time, that's kind of a nightmare for all the opposition. I'm looking at you, Ottawa. Not to mention Brendan Gallagher, his work ethic, some of the other guys that we know can be dogs on the Montreal Canadiens. Protz, he ain't no Josh Waugh or whatever. He's not going to go out there with some extremely high point production in junior hockey and have high expectations. Nah, this guy's going to be making his bread and butter because of everything else that he does. So, from one video to another, the most violent prospect in hockey, the Montreal Canadiens have officially signed on Owen Protz to an ELC that'll take him until 2029. If any Bulldogs fans are going to go out there and tune into this video, then hey, let me know your thoughts as to what this guy has been like the past few years. He did have some playoff experience over here. He's been pretty much developing in Ottawa and Ontario the entire time. He was a part of the junior Ottawa 67 team throughout the course of his AAA hockey career. And now, after playing for the CCHL, the Ottawa Junior Senators, that's kind of ridiculous, eh? CCHL hockey 1 year before getting drafted and then getting drafted out of the OHL? That's a pretty impressive development path, I'm not gonna lie. Sure, Protz doesn't necessarily stand off of the page with extreme production, but still, there's a lot to like out of this guy. So with that said, thoughts in the comment section below. Owen Protz is a Montreal Canadien by contract now. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. I hope you enjoyed this video. Sign on, and bye.